What do you need to start doing for the rest of October to get yourself ready for a successful November? Page of Swords and Wheel of Fortune. There's like a little group of people back there. It feels like in order to move forward, there is kind of a message that you need to give to yourself. Like holding space, Knight of Pentacles. Holding space for yourself to make sense of some information that you have received. So this could be like channeled writing, channeled drawing. You could write music. You have to like give yourself some space for expression here. Judgment. You're coming to a conclusion of something, and you have to give yourself space so that you can see that you fully understood whatever it was that happened in this last season. You're moving forward into a new beginning where you previously were trapped. And it's all because you chose yourself here over staying stagnant because of some betrayal that occurred in your life. And you have to kind of give yourself space to feel the feelings that came with it. Because until you do, you're going to continue being trapped in a little bit of a downward mindset. But there is a way to kind of rise above here, because there's still a little bit more of a lesson that you can learn. See how she's looking at herself in the pentacle there? This is like needing to give yourself a little bit of space to view yourself from a neutral mindset, so that you go into the next month kind of clear, kind of not holding back. It feels like it's really to remind yourself of your divine connection. So like giving yourself space for channeled writing, channeled drawing, whatever it is for you, writing poetry, writing music, maybe just recording yourself talking and getting feelings out. There's like a pent up feeling that if you can release that before going into the next month, you'll be able to kind of hit the ground running a lot better, because there won't be this feeling of like running through sand is the feeling I'm getting. Like if you can give yourself space to feel, release, and express, you'll be able to run on solid ground, where if you don't, you can still run, but it's like running through quicksand type of thing. And why is this important? Magician in reverse, and we were talking about giving yourself space because of some kind of betrayal. So basically this is like Devil and Death when I split the deck, both in reverse. It's breaking the chains of something that previously was holding you back from yourself. In what way? Internal dialogue. This is like what's going on in your mind is coming to more of an ease, and you just need to give yourself the space to allow that to happen. And then rehashing the past, but not sitting in the energy of the past. Releasing the past through expression and creation. So this could be even like drawing, painting, some kind of artwork here. Same card came out, Six of Cups, yeah. Giving yourself a space to look at your past or what you just had gone through in terms of a betrayal, turning it into something positive, and if not positive, then at least giving yourself a space that's not like negatively charged. So not like writing like an angry letter, more of like creating a poem or like a beautiful painting or something like that. Going into feeling your negative feelings from a positive perspective will help you run on solid ground instead of quicksand going into the next month. You were around someone for a very long time that would bleed on others, so that almost like they weren't recognized, the world in reverse. They didn't want the world to see that they were the one that was bleeding, so they would make sure to get a little bit of that blood on others emotionally. Emotional wounds. And they didn't know how to handle this on their own. Justice came out. They're learning now because you recognized or realized, Ten of Swords, you recognized that this wasn't your wound, and this person disguised it very well to make you think that this was coming from you. It was your blood, your bleeding. And this person took it as far as to make it seem like they were trying to help you stop the bleeding, when in reality it was coming from them, the Hermit. It was coming from them. And you finally walked away from this person, Wheel of Fortune, and now their karma is coming to them. And a big part of their karma is that they're going to have to finally admit and sit with themselves and realize, this was me that was pouring this out to everybody else, trying to blame them for it. Pouring out for everybody else, trying to blame them for it. And it has a lot to do with how quickly they would flip the script. So the second they would have something happen in their life, all of a sudden they would need to kind of pour this out to everyone around them, so that this is like misery loves company type energy. And you finally recognized or realized that this was kind of like guilt by association. It wasn't actually coming from you, but it was affecting you because it was on you and it had the energy of the other person. So you took your power back. All you needed to do was really recognize that that's what was happening, so that you weren't looking at it as this is a me problem, because it wasn't a you problem. It was a them problem. And especially because they were unable or unwilling to really look at those wounds, and they allowed them to continue to bleed out on everyone else. The Hierophant in reverse, they were believing a false narrative or a false mindset about themselves. This kind of looks like a portal, but it's in reverse, so it's closed. They are going to continue to stay stuck right where they are in terms of healing. Three of Pentacles reverse, Two of Swords, until they make a decision independently that will only affect them. Like, for once, they're going to have to say, this is all from me and I need to deal with it, or I'm going to continue to stay stuck. The Empress, you led by example. Seven of Swords reversed. The way that you handled how you walked away, or at least the energy that you came with when you had a last conversation with this person, you weren't vindictive, you weren't condescending, you weren't trying to put this person down. You simply were like, you're not going to access my energy and get it all muddied up with your emotional trauma or baggage that you're unwilling to heal or work on. You recognize that this was going to be a continuing pattern. I don't know what that loud noise was. I think that was my cat. This is going to be a continuing pattern. Boom, loud noise. Tower moment after tower moment after tower moment. Because this wasn't something that you could fix or control, because it was coming from the other person. So for a while you tried to change yourself in order to stop the bleeding here. And you finally were like, oh, this isn't even my bleeding. And you stopped motion forward towards this person who was doing this in your energy. Same card came out. So you flipped the script here, because this person basically needed you to react in a negative or, vengeful type way, so that they could say, oh, see, I knew it's not just me. It may not be this person that's bleeding, but they have the same wounds. So me projecting it onto them is helping them heal. They could flip that in their mind, right? You didn't do that. You rose above. And this person now has to sit and be like, oh, this actually wasn't from you. I've been doing this so long that I was able to convince myself that it wasn't just me, when in fact it is. The Magician in reverse, deception, manipulation. This person can no longer deceive or manipulate themselves, because it's almost like they were mirroring stuff to you, and they needed you to also hold up the mirror so you could mirror back what they were mirroring to you to them. And you refused to do that. You said, hurt people, and I'm not going to continue that. If it's something within me, I'm going to heal it. And if it's something within you, as in the other person, and they're unwilling to heal it, you finally loved yourself and respected yourself enough to say, you can't have a place in my life if you're not willing to heal. And especially because you were leading by example here, right? So you were like, oh, is this my problem? I don't know, I'm not sure, but I'm going to look inside and make sure and see what still needs to be healed here, so that if it is partially me, I can clean up my portion of it and show you how to do the same. So you know that you tried to lead by example here and show this person a way through this pain, and they still tried to go around it and blame and project it onto others. And in the past, you would have really held on tooth and nail and been like, this is something that I can fix. But this time you finally realized, you know, this person has had opportunity after opportunity to heal, to look at these wounds, and they still keep trying to go around it and pour it onto other people. You energetically said, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And that was the cord, the Fool. You took a leap of faith on yourself. That was the cord that once it is now cut, this person has no one to pour this onto anymore. They're sitting in a cell of their own making. And it's Three of Wands reversed. They don't know how to get out of it or go around it anymore. The only way out is through now. So it may feel like you did something harsh or drastic by pulling your energy back from this person, but you are going to be what saves them, because they can't keep making excuses now. And now they have to look at themselves and say, okay, the only way out of this cell is walking through whatever I poured on the floor in front of me, because I poured it all over the floor in front of me. I have to walk through it to get out of this cell. You put the person in the position where that's the only choice they have. They have to sit with their pain now. And that may seem harsh, or that may seem... it may seem difficult for you to wrap your head around the fact that sometimes you just have to cut access to you to people energetically. But again, you are saving this person from themselves, because a lot of other people that this person used to bleed on, they wouldn't walk away. They would let them keep doing it. They would enable them. And that's why this person picks people to do this to that don't necessarily love themselves. But this happened to line up with a lesson that you needed anyway in self-love. So your guides said, okay, go on in. And by the end of this, you're going to choose yourself. And this person is going to have to see your example and do the same in order to get out of the cell that they created for themselves. So good job. And as difficult as it might be to watch this person now kind of have an emotional struggle or emotional roller coaster that you may feel like you triggered or you put them on, it's exactly what they need so that they can heal and not just continue the cycle or pattern with another person. This is for anyone who's been getting an increased visit of Deja Vu since the last solar flare. It's weird. What's going on? Oh, okay. DNA. That's pretty direct. A DNA upgrade? Hand. Oh, I freaking knew it. Our hands are energy conductors, okay? If our reality is experiencing an upgrade, or things are changing in the blueprint and makeup of our reality, what do we interact with our reality with a lot? Our hands. If you have been experiencing increased sessions of Deja Vu, is it fair to say it's because our hands are now picking up more sensory input from our world that has had an upgrade in the blueprint or the energy grid? Okay. They underestimated how thick your skin was. They underestimated how disciplined your mind is. 5G, it's like the upgraded version of their 4G or 3G mind. They're stuck in a lower vibrational energy and you're able to rise above. They underestimated how thick your skin was. They couldn't lure you into the trap because they needed to make you into a sucker, and you weren't. They underestimated how thick your skin was. Climate change, it didn't matter what they changed about your external environment. You stood 10 toes down on what was going on inside your mind, and you were able to change that environment whenever you needed to for your own benefit. They underestimated how thick your skin was. They couldn't take you out. If you have had for a couple days like a dull, annoying headache, it's not like unbearable, but it's there and it's like kind of maybe like in your jaw area or like back of your head area, there's a download coming in for you. This is what the download is going to entail. Does that say Great Reset? All right. All right, Great Reset of good guy. Get in the back. Oh my gosh. It's what me and my friend were talking about the other day. It's like something has triggered a release of trauma or negative energy that has been sent and like trapped in us. Releasing any energy that's still in our bodies from that. Environmental hazard. Yes, our bodies would be our environment. That would be the hazard, and we are releasing it with the Great Reset. All right. Cool. What is your major incoming lesson, and what is your major outgoing lesson? Incoming. Nuclear. Incoming. Do not blow up over something that isn't going to be as heated in an hour or a day or 48 hours. Take a breath and remember the tools that you already have to handle the problem before blowing up. Hiding out and retire. Leave if you have to. Take a step back to cool off. Your outgoing lesson, so the lesson that you previously just passed a test about. Liberation in reverse. You don't need outside approval or even acceptance. It comes from within. This is the lesson that you learned it. You aced the test. That says world leader. Yeah, you aced the test. And now you're leading others by example. That's all. Good job. A really big sign of childhood trauma is when you try to convince people of your worth or convince or beg people to treat you right instead of walking away. If that resonates with you, this is what you need to know about that wound right now. Not the family in reverse coming out with the Tower. You don't have to do what you were taught to do, what was ingrained or embedded in you by this experience. You don't have to fight for your worth. It's almost like once you break the routine or habit of doing that, you realize that you never needed to do it in the first place, but it's something that's ingrained in you because when you were younger, you had to do that. You had to try and prove your worth or try and prove your value. And you worked really hard and committed yourself to aligning with your inner strength so that you don't have to do that anymore. And it feels like you are aware of this and you're aware that things have shifted because that Tower moment came out in the past position here. And you have had some false starts because of this. Things have kind of not worked out or not gone your way because you weren't yet ready to just know your worth, state your worth, not ask for it. And it's not your fault that that's how your life begun in the way that you had to do that back then. But you're finally recognizing and realizing that you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to beg people to see your worth. You just either align yourself with people who do see your worth, or you walk away from the people who just aren't on that same level with you currently. Prioritize self-healing right now. Put your needs above others for once. It's time to focus on you. Self-healing takes time and a lot of self-love. Remember, open wounds don't heal into scars overnight. Take the time you need in order to feel happier and healthier within yourself. There is no rush. Okay, so you had a spiritual test that you took the test, you passed the test, and you're still unaware that that happened because that was the dynamic of this particular test. So you did well, but you don't know about it yet. So your guides want to let you know about it. This is that. Oh, you cut off access from the right person. Like somebody was not supposed to be accessing you anymore, and you cut them off at the exact appropriate time. As I said, that the car drives past. You cut them off at the exact appropriate time. What way did that allow you to pass the test? Because they were gonna be the match that lit a flame that, you know, made a lot of stuff go bad. So you did not know of their plan, but you knew to cut this person off, and you passed the test of that. That's chess. You were quite literally playing chess while they were playing checkers. That's all. Congratulations. Getting a channel download about someone trying to manifest the right opportunity to run into you and talk to you. 5 of Pentacles reversed, 3 of Pentacles reversed. You don't want to talk to this person though. The Sun reversed. You definitely don't want to talk to this person. Why does this person want to have a conversation with you? Either you had a relationship and the spark went out, or they want to relight the flame, or at least communication between the two of you. What is their intention? Cover their trail. Chemtrails in reverse. They want to have a conversation with you so that if you go telling your story, they don't get represented as the actual bad guy that they were. Lockdown. They want to trap your mind in what? Antichrist in reverse. They want to trap your mind into not viewing them as the bad guy. 5G rope in reverse. Oh, by giving you some kind of information that would free you. So basically, they feel like something between the two of you was left unsaid, or that you didn't fully understand what happened or something to that regard. And they want to come in and give you that information to give you that closure, because they think if they do that, then you will be like, oh, this person wasn't that bad. Premeditated in reverse. Because they didn't see you walking away like you did. Transhumanism in reverse. This person is heartless and going to pretend like they have a heart just so you don't represent them poorly in your story. You've been looking for a sign or clarification or a confirmation of some sort. This is it. What's the category? Okay, apparently this card too. The first one was Philosopher, Happy-Go-Lucky, Boundless, Sagittarius. There's also like a Cupid's bow and arrow. 9th house, Spirituality, Travel, Aspirations, Education. Oh, something spiritual. You've been looking for a spiritual confirmation, and your guides really wanted to make sure that you knew that this was the confirmation. Let's see, what do you need to know? Soul contract, rebellion, Illuminati hub. You went against the grain in some way, either against like a whole group, or you went against the grain and did some pushback in your life, and now you have earned that you're being given the match that lits the flame, but of what category in your life? We're lighting the flame in the category of, it's the same card, spirituality. Oh. So confirmation. Thoughts, communication, futuristic. Something that you've been waiting for, especially if it comes in a form of communication, especially if it's like answering a long-standing question that you had in your mind. This is your sign to expect that within the next week, because it's coming. That piece of key information. Password. Premeditated. Now you know it's coming. Okay, that was direct. You have some people here who are very nervous about you finding out more due to your healing. It's like your healing is marking what they feel like you're receiving information on internally. Indecisive. They have no idea what to do. This person looks like they're kind of like a stone breaking apart. These people built up this wall, but the glue to this wall was you not finding out about what was going on the other side of the wall. Detachment. You cut the cord, and when you cut the cord, irreplaceable mistakes. When you cut the cord, they realize that they can't go back and undo what had already been done. Irreplaceable came out again. Unworthy. These people know that they put stuff on you that you did not deserve. And their whole house of cards is crumbling now. Mistakes again. And my ear is ringing. Confusion. This person's wearing like a Nike shirt too. Just do it. This person is trying to figure out what to do, and they keep almost making a decision and then backing up, almost making a decision and then backing up, because they're still stuck in that indecisive energy. The hope card came out. What do they hope? Disagreements and values. They hope that they can somehow convince you to think about what you already know in a different way. Like they hope that they can confuse you. Chemistry and destiny. They want to future fake you. It's like they want to kind of make you feel like there's something coming up that's better than what they gave you in the past. Understanding self-love and sabotage. They understand now that your self-love is what is allowing you to see what was going on behind the other side of that wall, and they want to sabotage it. They want to get you confused. Reveal, third party. Whatever this is, they know that as your self-love increases, you're finding out more behind the scenes, and they're afraid that secrets. When I split the deck, they're afraid that you're going to find out who they were working for or working with, or why they did what they did to you. And it's like they know that you know that they did you wrong. Habits. But they want you to believe that this was their choice, or at least that's what they wanted you to believe before, that it was their choice. But now that they're caught, they want to flip it on that other person that was involved, that they were either doing it for or with, or doing it to impress them. Overwhelmed, reminiscing. This person is stuck in the past. They keep thinking of how badly they were misled by this other person, and now because of that, they want to flip everything on the other person. You know, it's interesting. It's almost like they finally made a decision to choose you after they already discarded you. But they're choosing you now. Reflection when I split the deck. They're choosing you now because they had to take a hard look at themselves in the mirror once they recognized that that third party was never on their side, and it's just going to hurt them the same way that they hurt you. Unappreciated. This person will never be valued by this third party because the third party was using them to get to you. Absence and escape. This person wants to get out of this other situation and they can't now. And that's their own fault. But they don't know what to do because they know that they're all the way caught. Space and reflection. Your absence, you cutting the cord, left an empty space, and the person didn't realize how much that empty space was going to affect them until you were gone. And now they have no other solution other than to try and look at that empty space to try and figure out how to fill it. But in looking at that empty space, they're realizing that you were the one that was sent to help them heal. You were the one that was sent to help them transmute their past pain that was blocking them. And that doesn't mean that you were meant to be in this person's life forever, but you were the key that unlocked the next several chapters, and you cut the cord and took the key with you. And this person is having a very hard time. Reflection again. This person is having a very missed opportunity. It's giving the one that got away, and that can be a relationship, friendship, co-worker, it can be anything, but you are quite literally the one that got away, and you took the key with you. So now this person has to find another way to get that key because it's not coming from you. You left a lasting impression on somebody, but it's almost like they wish that you didn't, or they wish that the impression wasn't quite as lasting. This person feels like, well, to start, they feel like you're unworthy of whatever they put you through. You did not deserve to have to put up with their trying to block you from committing to something because they saw you as the magician. So they now know that you didn't deserve what they put you through, but they have almost like an obsession. Like, you left a very lasting impression on this person. How is this person really feeling about this impression? MK Ultra in reverse. They cannot think about anything else. Polar shift, which is totally different than how this person usually is. This person usually can just disregard people, cut them off, and stop thinking about them. Not you. Hiding out and retired, and this person now needs to kind of shelter in place themselves because they know, or at least they feel like others can read their emotions. Like, they are not doing great in the brain right now because of this. Weather manipulation. It's interesting because there's lightning here. That's how they feel. Like, see the dark sky and the lightning? They feel like what they're thinking. Can I find that MK Ultra card? No. They feel like what they're thinking is being seen externally and that they can't hide from it or run from it. They feel like, I feel my emotions so deeply that others must be able to see them. And it's interesting because that's how you kind of were with this person, but you did it willingly. You willingly wore your heart on your sleeve for this person to some degree. And this person took total advantage of that. And now part of their karma is that they have to kind of pull back from everything that was going on in their life because they feel like they can't hide how they're feeling, and they're not doing well. The bad guy is hiding. Yeah. And what is their plan? Intoxication. To numb or suppress their feelings. So your spirit team is going to give you a message about something. So pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to give you what the message is going to be about, and then I'm going to give you the sign or symbol to look for in the 3D. Okay, so pile 1 is something that is coming to you or something that you have to give up. This is like a confirmation. I opened up to the initiation rites page, and there's a baby getting baptized. So your sign of something incoming or outgoing, or the confirmation of needing to receive or give, is going to be something water related. So like a fountain, or maybe like if you see like a water spigot malfunctioning, or maybe someone just happens to be like spraying with a hose as you drive by. Something water related is going to confirm this message of needing to give or receive. And when you see the water, you're going to listen for the next song that you hear, and that's going to be a further confirmation, or go to a playlist and shuffle, and that will be a further confirmation. Number 2, this is something that you're going to be experiencing, maybe like a mini trip, or confirmation of wanting to plan a trip or go somewhere, something about exploration or travel. We have a unicorn, a couple different like lion looking things. So some kind of like 4-legged animal is going to grab your attention. Not like a typical house pet though. So like maybe you're watching TV and all of a sudden it pans over to something and you're like, oh, that's the sign. Or maybe you see a wild animal out somewhere. But that's going to be your sign, and the same thing, you're going to listen for the next song you hear. It's going to be a further confirmation. Pile 3, the lovers. So something about a relationship. It's going to be further instructions about what you need to know or do. Something, a relationship that already exists or one that's coming in. Headwear. We have a graduation hat, Indian hat, all different kinds of hats. So something hat related, headwear related is going to grab your attention, and then same thing, look for the next song you hear or shuffle a playlist, and it's going to further confirm the message. Going back to pile 1. So remember, this is giving or receiving. I need you to get excited again. I need you to remember you're not in this thing alone. I'm working on your challenges. I've already assigned angels to you. So let go and the stress. So let go and the stress and just trust me. I've got a pretty incredible ending in store. In fact, that's why you need to get excited again, because the happy ending I've got coming is going to rock your world. Okay, so it's probably not giving, it's probably receiving. You're going to receive a sign when you need to get in the state of being ready to really receive, because something good is coming to you. Pile 2, some kind of exploration, travel. It's never too late to start over. You have to trust in the magic of new beginnings. They are waiting for you. Notice them, seize them, and appreciate all that you have. Just relax and trust. So some kind of adventure is coming to you. And then pile 3, something about a relationship that already exists or a new one coming in. That makes sense. Release old doubts and fears. You are currently undergoing changes that are necessary for your highest good. They are changes that have been long awaited. Leave the past where it belongs, in the past. Trust that everything will fall into place for you in divine timing. Divine timing plus relationships. That's a good sign. You recently worked on healing your inner child, and because you did that, there's a fresh start coming to you where you were previously trapped or stagnant or stalled. It's like your inner child wouldn't let you open this specific door until you healed like a shadow part of your inner child. And now you and your inner child are on the same team again. It feels like this is referring to internal dialogue. Like you were still fighting with yourself about something that wasn't your fault. And your inner child was like, no, I'm not letting you have this fresh start until you finally accept and recognize that this is something that was done to you that you did not call in. Page of Swords in reverse. You did not call it in. It's not something that you spoke into existence. It's something that someone else put on your plate to keep you from recognizing or realizing your full power. So in order to take that power back, your inner child was like, you have to recognize that this wasn't your own doing, but only you can be the one to move forward through healing what was done to you that was unfair or unjust. Here, polar shift. Once you do that, everything changes, and it seems like you've already done that. And now, because you've done that, this new beginning is coming to you. Family dynasty, cybercrime in reverse. You figured out who hacked into your mind to block you, because that person sold their soul. This was a karma swap attempt. And because you healed the inner child, you took back your power, they can no longer get in. And because that karma swap attempt is now completely failed, no more chances, they'd have to start from the beginning to try to hack back into your energy. You're not the sacrifice here. You're moving forward to opposing forces working together. Your angels, ancestors, guides help to protect you through the test. And probably a throat chakra test, since I was just choked. And now that you got through the test, all you had to do was reconnect and heal that piece of your inner child. And because you did that, because you took your power back, they're now kicked out of your energy. You can take your rightful throne and have this new beginning, all because you reconnected with your inner child. Now you're on a team with yourself again. It's almost like your inner child was benched, and now your inner child's back in the game, and now you're no longer stuck. So good job. You've recently had some kind of transformation or glow up, and there's something specific about it that people are focused on. It's something that's shining from the inside out, and they're focused on the external shine that's really just projecting from something internally that you have taken a leap of faith on yourself about, and you're no longer doubting yourself. And that is shining externally in this one specific way. And that's your transformation. And nobody can really focus on anything else. They're focused on the one thing, and it's like almost like now that that has changed about this person, they're no longer reachable, as in you're no longer reachable to the people. New beginning here. New beginning away from the somber sadness that you were previously in. It's like they can see that that has shifted in you, and now they recognize that you took your power back, and they no longer can even try to compete where they know they don't compare. You were carrying a heavy burden for a long time, and it was slowing you down and preventing this fresh start from coming to you sooner, because you weren't able to visualize how you were going to get out of this energy that you were trapped in. But you took your power back, and now you have a whole fresh start because of it. But people, because they refuse to see that you are stepping into the fresh start that you earned, that you put in the work for, both externally and internally, they refuse to give you credit for that. So all they want to do is focus on some external physical change and be like, oh look, this changed, this changed. They want to make it look like or sound like you're vain now because something external is matching the internal, and because you don't need them anymore, because you found peace in a way that you didn't see it coming. A death and a rebirth away from your pain. And because they can see that on the outside, and they know that there's no way that they can really attack your growth, because they know that you worked for it, and they know that you worked for it because they were trying to stop you, and you had to work through them trying to stop you. High Priestess, it was a battle you knew you were fighting, and you got the victory. And they don't want to give you that, so they just want to focus on something physical or external and try and make it look like, oh, you're vain now, or oh, you're doing it for appearances. But that's only, literally only, because they refuse to give you credit where credit is due, because that puts you a step ahead of them, because that's them admitting that you're no longer in the same category as them. They're right where you left them, and you got the victory. That's a hard swallow for someone who doesn't want to see you doing better than them. So let them say what they want, because it's only proof that you won. What do your guides want you to know about this upcoming weekend? Something is getting revealed to you. Crimes against humanity in reverse. There's a group of people who knew something bad that had happened or was planned or plotted against you, and you're either getting a confirmation that what you already found out about it is true, and or you're getting something revealed to you about it. Yes. Something about whoever was in charge of it that's corrupt. And how it all went down, how it was staged. Because up until now, it was only lies. You are getting the truth confirmed to you that you already know about. So look for a confirmation that maybe only you would understand, but something is going to confirm information that you already received or channeled about what they tried to do to you. I got a channel download about soul-led gifts versus like selling your soul type success. So the selling your soul type success, you get there pretty quickly, but once you get there, you're usually around what you're going to peak at, and then you just maintain. While soul-led, you take a little bit longer to get there, but there's no lid. You can keep climbing, you can keep evolving, because your soul holds every talent, every pathway that you could take, and especially the one that your soul is calling you to do. So when you're in a soul-led position, there's no lid to it. Whereas if you sold your soul to get it, you're pretty much at the lid when you start, or at least there's not that much more to climb because you're under whoever that lid is that controls you. You recently had to, or you are about to, interact with someone who is extremely narcissistic from your past, and this time, strength in reverse, because this person doesn't want to admit their own weaknesses or look at their own wounds. And they can't transform because they're still running from that part of themselves. Anyway, you recently had to, or are going to have to, interact with this person, but this time you're standing up for yourself. You're taking the different path away from that emotional manipulation, and that person secrets out about your fresh start here. This person is going to finally see that they couldn't trap you, and that you had completely cut that cord or evolved past what they put the lid on you at. So this person likely told other people that you would never make it past this, or you're only that, you're whatever, and now they're the ones, they talked too fast about what they did not think you could achieve, and you already achieved that, or you're well on your way to doing so, and people can see that because you're no longer stuck in this Five of Pentacles downcast energy. You took back your power, Queen of Swords, especially by using your voice, especially about that which hurt you, and how you rose above it, how you made something out of your pain, and you didn't get trapped in the illusions or disillusions here. So this narcissist is going to realize or recognize that you've fully taken your power back, and it's essentially you've earned the opportunity to do that, and this is basically you showing yourself that you've done it. That's why you're having this interaction in the first place, is you're not this anymore. You're not scared of this person. You're not worried about what this person's going to do or say or think. And this brief interaction with this person is simply your higher self giving you the opportunity to show yourself, look, you just stood up for yourself. You just took your power back. You couldn't have seen yourself do that unless you had to interact with this person again. But this person is going to be feeling very ungrounded, very unable to feel their emotions. It's like they were jogging away from their problems. Now they're sprinting. You made them sprint away from what they were previously jogging away from, because they can't get to you. They can't stop you. They can't take you off of the platform that you've earned for yourself. They can't block your adventure now. And they know that karma is hunting them down for what they did to and against you. And now they're recognizing that that cord, you've completely cut it because you took your power back. And this person, if they read the small print in the contract that they signed to try and take you out of your rightful position, they'll know that once that cord is cut, their karma really starts. They've been getting tastes of it and appetizers, but the entree is on its way now. And there's nowhere they can run and hide. It's going to affect everything in their life. It's going to affect everything in this person's life, the karma that's coming to them that they created. And you taking your power back to them is their warning and your gift. So see it as that and go into the situation like, I'm not letting you rile me. I'm not letting you upset me. This is my graduation present to myself from my higher self. So I have space to show myself that I'm no longer the person that you could bully before because I've healed. So congratulations. This is kind of a part 2 to the narcissist reading that I just did. If you're wondering what is their original wound that they buried and buried and buried that made them into the way that they are now that you see, this is a description of that original wound. Digital evidence of a... Oh, this is the digital evidence of the wound. Oh, that's funny. Oh, it's like the cards are proving it because the narcissist always tries to disprove everything that's saying. The cards are mocking the narcissist. Polar shit. All right. So this is the wound. Time change. This was from a different time in their life. Childhood. What happened during childhood that they buried until it erupted as an adult. No liberation. They felt unwanted. They felt undervalued. They felt not important. And it just kind of built up. By whom? Illuminati hub in reverse. Whoever was supposed to be on their team, family, or close friends. They were supposed to be in this tight-knit group and they were against this person. What made the people around them be against them? Oh, trying to maybe hold on too tightly. It feels more like control, but it could be either one. Also trying to get them wrapped up in stuff to control them. Why was that happening? It's happening because something that they didn't... Oh, they wanted to be in control of their external environment because they were not in control of their at-home environment. So they started trying to control people outside of their home to make up for the lack of control they felt like they had inside their home. And that developed into narcissism because instead of dealing with the wound, they just projected it onto others. 5G, project a web. They projected it onto others. Why did they never choose to heal? Okay, it just feels better to blow up, to release all that at once. Evil corporation exposed. Yes, it just feels better to blow up and expose it all at once, or blow up all at once. What is this person going to do next about this wound? Try to control their mind. MK Ultra, try and control their mind. In what way? Environmental hazard in reverse. They're going to try and change their external environment instead of dealing with the internal one that's still bothering them. So basically, they're going to go bleed on a new group of people because the old group of people are sick of their shit. Embezzlement, white collar crime. Truth comes out in reverse. They need to lie to a new group of people because the old group of people are no longer believing their toxicity. Big pharma. They are the poison, and the group of people they're around now are figuring that out. So they need to go find a new group to terrorize. So you quite literally dodged a bullet on that one. Something you need to work on this weekend or week, and a channeled song to go with it. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. Number 1. Freeing yourself from something that's not serving you in terms of mindset, in terms of something that someone else has downloaded into your supercomputer based off of some kind of emotional manipulation. So paying attention to how to pinpoint what needs to be shifted in terms of mindset or perspective or internal dialogue that isn't originating from you, but is kind of downloaded into you from someone else's either false narrative of you or lack of self-love for themselves. It's going to be brought to your attention this weekend or week, so make sure that you take the right steps to Control Alt Delete that out of your supercomputer. Your channeled song, Everybody by Logic. 2. Someone's going to try and lure you into some kind of argument, competition, whatever it is. You don't need to compete. They don't compare. So they're trying to bring you down a notch so that they feel like they have some way to compete with you, but they don't. So make sure that you don't give them the reaction that they're trying to lure out of you, because you'll know what reaction they're trying to get out of you. Don't give them that one, because that's the one that they want so they can use it against you, even if you know your intentions are just to stand up for yourself or whatever. They're trying to lure you into something. So don't give them the reaction they want. Give them the opposite of the reaction they want. They're just gonna have to give up at that point. Your channeled song, Somebody Like Me by War Cub. Number 3. You're going to find out about someone trying to make it so that you can't completely be grounded in who you are, in your career, in being comfortable with yourself. You don't need this person. This person was working against you the entire time. So basically right now what's happening is the universe is just moving them out of your way. You didn't do anything wrong. This isn't a situation where you need to look back and think, what could I have done differently? Nothing. This person from the beginning, before you even had a chance to say 2 words, was against you. So you didn't do anything. There's nothing you coulda, shoulda, woulda done differently. And now your higher power is stepping in and saying, okay, that's enough of this lesson. I'm going to remove this person out of the way so that you can move forward, because they were blocking you. So the only thing you could do wrong here is trying to grasp onto someone that is being removed from your path for your benefit. So don't try to hold on if this person is clearly being removed by like a higher power. Your channeled song, God's Plan by Drake. So, all right. People tried to hack into your energy or your mind under this last powerful moon, but they were stopped or blocked by your higher power. It was a no-go. They were not, you cannot pass go. And now they're feeling in this 5 of Pentacles energy, because there's your angel saying, no, 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 turn back around. Stop your forward progress. All of you. It seems like what happened was, they could not go to battle. It feels like what happened was these people tried to trick your ancestors or guides that are your higher protection here. They were not able to, because they needed you to not be in self-love, but you recently had an upgrade in it and they could not penetrate that barrier. It seems like what happened was they tried to kind of bum rush your guides. They tried to send a bunch of different energies in all at once because they knew you were divinely protected, but they didn't think that your divine protection team was bigger than their team. So they found out the hard way that they were big wrong about that. There's your team, upright, 10 of Cups, emotional support, putting down a heavy burden, which would be them. They were not able to make it through your impenetrable force at this point, because it's almost like you had this electric fence around you, and it was off before, so they could scale the fence, they could climb the fence, right? So they planned on all coming in at once, rushing over the fence and getting whatever information they needed from you and running out of there, right? Energetically. They thought if they sent enough people in that they could get one past your guides, because of course you wouldn't have more guides than they have, because they have a whole group of people, right? And strength in reverse, they doubted that you had this protection, but you did. And this electric fence, once you were in a state of self-love, it turns on. So now they can't scale it and climb it. It's not like a little ouchie, a little boo-boo. It's an impenetrable force that they cannot get through. And they decided that they wanted to learn this the hard way. So they sent in a whole bunch of people and were stopped in their tracks. And, you know, it's now that they're realizing that that karma is now heading their way, now that that electric fence is turned on, and now that they are aware that that electric fence is on. That's why your guides let this happen. They knew there was this big attack coming, and they were like, all right, well, their karma isn't really going to hit until they see that this electric fence is on, and that this person is in a state of self-love, and that there's nothing they can do now to get to them. So let's let them come in. So whatever number that they had to try and come into your energy, your guides tripled that amount of protection. And they took note of every person who tried to scale and climb that electric fence. And their karma has begun. I don't think they're going to try that again. Someone that had sent you spell after spell after spell needed to try and impress a group of people, or I don't know if you'd say impress, but convince a group of people that you had sent them something in return, which you had not. So this person clearly may not have all working brain cells, because they did a return to sender spell on what they sent to you. Yes, you heard me right. They did a return to sender spell on what they sent to you, which means they sped up and increased this returning to themselves because they sent it to you. But they had to do this because they had to convince this group of people that you were the reason that they have recently received tower moment after tower moment after tower moment. Not the brightest crown in the box here. But on top of that, they also put some kind of delay or whatever on this that those people didn't know about. So first, in front of the people, they did a return to sender spell. And then behind the scenes, not in front of those people, they did a delay spell. So it would look like you sent it to them back because it wouldn't happen as quickly as they said it was going to happen. This backfired because you were faced with some kind of subconscious test, and that was whatever blockage energy this person had sent. So you had to pass a test that you didn't know about. If you failed the test, the blockage would have been in place. And then it could have looked like you returned this to them after it had hit you. But you passed the subconscious test. And I did a reading on this subconscious test the other day, and I didn't really understand what the full point of it was, and it was this. You passed a subconscious test that made that blockage energy not stick, and instead it returned back to this person. So now this person is in front of the rest of this group of people that they were trying to convince that you did it. And everyone's looking at them like, but wait, that person's not receiving what you sent out, but you are receiving it, as in this other person. They had to do this because they were backed into a corner. And now they're completely found out. Cyber crime revealed. They wanted to hack into your energy and try and make it look like you did this to them, knowing full well they did it to themselves. Hit and run in reverse. There is nowhere to run for them now, because that is coming to hit them, and they know it. So you've called judgment on something, some kind of betrayal, sabotage, strategy working against you, and you're walking away, cutting ties, cutting cords from whatever that energy is, taking the swords out of your own back here. What is this about? It feels like almost like a mindset that comes from another person, and you cut the cord of that, and hence it cut the cord of a particular energy that was still kind of infiltrating your energy field. It feels like it was a mindset that you cut, and because you cut this particular mindset, you're getting, I can't even talk, a fresh new beginning here. Something with your throat chakra, because mine just closed as I try to say that, and this would be the reversal of public. So whatever it was meant to prevent you from speaking about something publicly, or if not speaking about something publicly, then at least changing the way that you hold yourself in public. Like you were supposed to be kept down. You were not supposed to get back up type thing. You were not supposed to get back up. They were supposed to have the power over you, but they weren't able to. And this has been going on for a very long time, like keeping the lights out on how you can handle yourself or hold your own in public. It feels like playing on your certain vulnerabilities and wounds that you wanted to keep under control. Justice in reverse here. Whatever this is heading back the way of the people that tried to do this to you. And they're gonna lose all control because they don't see this coming. Because that's what it was. It was a cord that was attached to you still, that was giving them access to you, and this cord was some kind of mental blockage or internal dialogue that was coming from them. Like you had to cut that, and you had to choose self-love above comfort zone, above wanting to hide certain vulnerabilities. You had to face this shadow to see what it was, to be able to cut it away. And you learned how to do this. You learned how to lean into self-love here. Because you took time to rest. You took time to not keep walking away from something that was bothering you. And you chose to turn around and be like, all right, what's the deal here? Why is this affecting me so much? Why is the light off? Why is there a death and a rebirth that I'm resisting? And you did some healing work that allowed you to cut out this mindset from another person, reground it yourself, retaking your throne here, and they're no longer able to hunt you down now. So you cut a cord that was supposed to be a cord that you weren't supposed to be able to recognize that this was a cord that needed to be cut, because it was a cord that was disguising itself as a mindset that was coming from you, but it wasn't yours. You had to wipe it out still. It was supposed to keep you from being able to commit to your higher self. And there's the throat chakra. It was supposed to be able to keep you from committing fully to your higher self, which would have prevented you from speaking in public on something. And self-love was the key here. And there we go. There's the commitment in reverse and the death and the rebirth. So you finally figured out what needed to happen there. Secrets revealed. And you chose to insert some joy back into areas that felt dark or glim before. And now your manifestation is coming in for you, while whatever they sent you is on their way back to them. So you recently had a transformation when it comes to self-love, and it helped you see an illusion that you weren't even looking at was a possibility of an illusion. Like something that in your mind, that box was checked. You didn't need to look into it again. That was a belief that you had about yourself or about your past, maybe. Something that maybe you were blocked from in the past because of a betrayal. And almost like you were looking at it like it was your fault in some way, but you were able to release certain energies that helped you see that what you believed to be like a fact before about yourself was just an illusion that was purposely put there to block you. And this gave you your voice back. It gave you your power back, because before you were carrying this heavy burden, and now you're able to take a leap of faith on yourself. And all of this was unlocked because of self-love. That was what was blocking you from getting that close to higher information about yourself. You had to be ready. You had to be grounded. And you had to see where the darkness was still in you that wasn't your darkness. That wasn't your darkness. The Hierophant reverse. And there's like a ladder to heaven. You had to, because you're an empath, you took on someone else's trauma or pain. And subconsciously, you saw this person as not really ready to take this back yet. So you were holding on to it, trying to transmute it. And your angels and guides were like, it's not yours. You're trying so hard to transmute it. And you're wondering, why can't I transmute this? Why can't I heal this piece of me? And your angels and guides are like, because it's not yours. You can't transmute it. All you can do is hold it, help the other person heal, and then give it back to them when they're ready. But you've tried to help this other person heal, and they still aren't ready to even do that. And you finally came to the realization that by holding on to this, you're really only hurting yourself. And in a constant state of fight or flight, they're literally like climbing up there. You're in a constant state of fight or flight because it's this little bit of darkness from someone else. But because it's still connected to that person, the worst they're doing is the worst that it's affecting you. And as you see this person doing worse, you feel this darkness kind of growing and growing. And you're like, it's not me, because I'm doing the work. I'm healing. I'm progressing. Why is this getting worse? And you're starting to put together, oh, it's because it's not mine. It's that person's. And you went into the deep, deep work here and did some readdressing where this wound came from, because it wasn't your light. This is the Holy Grail in reverse. This little bit of darkness was blocking you from being able to show up fully as yourself, because there was a piece of you that you weren't understanding. Why don't I have control over that like dark corner over there? Like I'm turning the light on, I'm shining the flashlight on it, and it's still dark. It's not, nothing's working. And your angels and guides finally kind of got through to you saying it's Independence and the Sun in reverse. Three of Cups reverse, the Sun in reverse. They finally got through to you saying this isn't your energy. That's why you can't transmute it. And you tried for a very long time to get the other person ready to take it back. You were their support, or at least they were aware that you were supportive, or you would be if they came to you. And they just delay. And you held on to this for as long as you could. The Devil, when I split the deck. You held on to this as long as you could, and now you made this decision probably in a dream state. Yeah, Four of Wands reverse, so not the environment of the home in the mind, but above it. You made this decision to take that pain and send it back, because you realized that you were literally only hurting your own self and the good that you can pour out into the world by subconsciously holding on to this other person's pain. And now it's going back to where it originated from, and you're being free of it. You're being cleared of it. And that's why you're transforming here, because you're no longer, not that you were a sheep, but you subconsciously were going with the flow because you felt like it was the right thing to do. But you now are able to see it from a different perspective because of that self-love. And you're able to see, well, is it really going to hurt this person when this energy goes back to them? Yes. But it's diminishing my ability to shine my light out for others who actually are willing to accept my help and my guidance and my support, whereas this other person whose energy I'm holding, they're not ready or willing to grow and evolve. So you made the subconscious yet conscious decision to say, okay, this cord needs to be cut. And your guides and angels said, okay, the only way to shine light in that corner is to radically and drastically blow up your self-love. Not in a bad way, in a good way, like confetti it, like sprinkle it everywhere kind of thing. That's the only way to shine the light into this corner. And once you do that, the darkness goes back to that person. So congratulations, and know that now you are free to more authentically, fully, unapologetically show up as yourself, because that dark corner now gets lit up like the rest of the room because you chose to love yourself above the darkness that was sent to you. We're looking into what does your higher self want you to focus on this upcoming week. It's going to be a 3 pile. So pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. So pile 1, we're working on manifesting. There is some powerful energy coming in and you're meant to be taking advantage of it. Let's see in what way. Your holy grail, you're getting a really important piece of the puzzle that's going to help you reel in that manifestation. The wheel is here as well. So it's going to be a very high energy week for you. So make use of it and work on whatever you've been trying to call into you. Pile 2, reflection. So looking at something from the past and figuring out what to do. Something that is preventing you from being able to see the road ahead or see how it's going to unfold in terms of your passion, your purpose, or presenting yourself in a more public way. It's time to take the swords out of your own back here. Whatever this is, it wasn't your fault, and you're still looking at it in a way that's holding you back because you may be looking at it like it's your fault and resisting the death and rebirth, but it's not your fault. It was a lesson that you needed, but it's not something you caused karmically. And then pile 3, make it work. You have all the tools you need to succeed, but you have to put in the effort. You excel at working with your hands and fixing problems. Judgment, Ace of Swords. So you're learning the truth or uncovering or discovering the truth that's going to help you figure out how to use the tools that you already have. You have them, you just aren't sure exactly how to use them. You're coming back to life in some way this week, and you're going to help to, or you're getting help to choose a path, because you're going to see how you can use your tools, and you're going to see that you were viewing yourself as trapped, but you're not really trapped. So it's almost like you had all the tools and you were like, I don't have any materials to use the tools on, and you're going to figure out this week how to get the materials or how to use materials that you already have. Have a good week. We're looking at the energy you're leaving and the energy you're going into. There's going to be a 3 pile. So just pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. And I'm going to split the deck and see for each one. Pile 1. We're leaving behind some kind of secrecy or darkness and going into something that is owed to you, something that is due to you. So basically good karma coming in. Pile 2. You're leaving behind the energy of having to heal, and you're coming into the energy of getting back to the swing of things. So you did the hard work of taking the swords out of your back, and now you're coming back to life, basically. And pile 3. You're coming out of an energy of competition, or like not even healthy competition, just like annoying competition where people are trying to compete where they just didn't compare, and you're finally feeling like that energy is not, you don't have to continuously look over your shoulder anymore. You're coming into a more peaceful time period. Have a good week. This reading is not going to be for everybody, so I'm going to give a specific situation, and if it doesn't apply to you, just keep scrolling. Again, this is going to be for a select group of people. So if there was someone who has a position of power or authority, that came into your life to form some kind of connection with you. And after they left your life, the light got shown onto maybe some potential ulterior motives, trying to bring back, there's the sun again behind it, trying to bring back your past or keep you stuck in the past or use your past against you. So this would be a situation where someone had some kind of position of authority or power, and there was something they wanted that they were promised to get if they got something from you. So again, this isn't going to apply to everyone, but for those it does apply to, this was their instructions of what they were supposed to do to you or against you. So it's highly likely that this person had access to something personal of yours, car, home, phone, something that would have been a needed access that they would have had to get in order to make their part of the plan work. Here is their 5-step instructions they were given to go against you. 5G in reverse, hack into or get access to phone, computer, some kind of electronics or digital. It's in reverse, so it doesn't look like they ended up getting what they were sent to get. 2, stalking and lost. Basically get some photos of you or information of you, or find out where you were at. Either find out where you were at to make it fit a false story about you, or get pictures of you at places and paint a false story around those pictures. 3, intoxication in reverse. Likely plant something in your house, or maybe send something from your phone even and then delete it so you can't see it, but it came from your phone. Maybe put something in your house, in your car, something like that. 3 or 4, transhumanism, meaning what? Environmental hazard in reverse. Try and lead you somewhere that would have been bad for you, but you didn't end up going. Why didn't you end up going? White collar client. Oh, there's cuffs. They were trying to lead you into a situation where you would have gotten in some kind of legal trouble, but you were guided to, that was like right when you were guided to stay away from this person is when that part of their plan was unfolding. Last card. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a setup. They were trying to get something from you to plant it somewhere else. So it looked like you did something that you weren't even there for. Paper trail. I stopped that at 3, 3, 3. So I'm going to give you 3 options. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3, or you can pick multiple if you feel called to. But this was what this person was ultimately trying to set you up for that failed. 1, taking your children away, or something about taking a family member away. 2, bad career, messing with your career or your money. And 3, uncovering using their position of power to make you take the fall for something that they were ultimately involved in. When the monster comes out of the sea. They're realizing now that you know a lot more than you have said. They're realizing now that you left behind the energy of those who were trying to hold you back, and with that went your divine protection that they were siphoning off of. Chariot in reverse, no more movement there. They're recognizing that until you found out about stuff, they were not receiving the full karma of it. And they're realizing that your divine protection was doing it like that to let them build up that karma that they would later receive. Bad karma. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. These people wanted to block your light or block your passion. And that's not something that they're allowed to do. They don't have the authority to do that because that comes from above. That's way above their pay grade. Way above what they're able to access. Death in reverse is you. They could not take you out. And this is how they feel about it. There's an energy of wishing they could go back in time, but knowing that they can't. So trying to figure out a way to escape accountability by blaming it on someone besides you for once. Because they now are starting to realize, or not starting to, but they're in the midst of realizing they can't get that protection down from you. Because they threw absolutely everything at you. And I just had like 10 cards come out. The only one that was upright was Knight of Cups. So you saved yourself with self-love here. Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. 9 of Pentacles. You got what you needed because you chose to balance out and love yourself. And that allowed you to access the plan or the plot right before it happened. And so it's not necessarily that you were playing dumb. It's just that your spirit team didn't give you the information until you absolutely needed it. But they didn't give it to you late. They gave it to you right when you needed it. And because of that, you were able to sit in your power, in your divine authority, and not get trapped in any of these situations that they were trying to trap you in. Literally fighting, trapping, and stopping your adventure. They couldn't do it. And because you chose to walk away, there's nothing that they can do now besides fight amongst one another. And it's interesting because it's now become this jealousy of the protection that saved you, because they thought that their protection would do the same for them. But now they're looking at it like, but why didn't my protection tell me that this was a possibility, that this would happen? Because they did not see how your protection could step in and help you. Because your protection, it's like you're the one that types in the codes that allows your protection to come through. And they thought they could keep you too blinded to do that. But you put down the heavy burden and you figured out exactly what you needed to move forward. And that was always going to happen. They were never going to actually be able to take you off of your rightful throne, but they could make you take yourself off of it. They could make you give up on yourself. And that's why self-love saved you, because it allowed your divine protection to come in and show you exactly who was manipulating you, exactly who wasn't for you. And now you know everything that you need to know to not fall into this trap again in any way, shape, or form. So now they have no moves and they know that they're all the way found out by you. So there's not really anything they can do. They can try, and they probably will, but it's not going to work. And they know that now too. There's a difference between someone who hurts you by making a mistake and someone who hurts you by continuing a pattern. And I'm looking at a situation here where this was a repeat of a pattern that had been occurring with this person for a very long time because of a wounded inner child that they were unwilling to look at or address. This person wanted you to bandage up their lack of self-love for themselves. And that required you getting out of that self-love with yourself in this case. Because this person wanted to siphon the energy that you were learning how to give to yourself for the first time in a while. They were trying to rip the carpet from underneath of you and keep you trapped away from your ability to give that to yourself, because they wanted you to focus on giving it to not only them, but also their inner child. And this person basically was going to infiltrate your mind to go after your inner child or your childhood wounds, so that they could see how your wounds look when they were brought to the surface. And they weren't able to do that. And now, because they weren't able to do that, they're trying to do some kind of, it's not even like a binding, it's more just like a delay and frustration, hoping that you will get stuck in place long enough that they can kind of catch up with you. But this person is not ready to do the work that it's going to take to catch up with you, even if the binding or the slowing down were to work, which that's not working either. An opposite of a betrayal and a false start for what they sent to you. So it does look like you're moving forward from this long-standing battle is coming to a close, but there is a couple things from your inner child wound that are going to be brought back to the surface as you completely detach from this person's energy. It's not going to be anything that you can't handle, but it is going to be kind of little annoyances or little tests of your inner child healing. Six of Cups reversed with the Four of Cups came out as I said that. So you have the divine authority to say no where you need to pull back your energy where you need to do whatever you need to do to heal right now. You have divine protection that's helping you. And as I said, that Wheel of Fortune with putting down a heavy burden. So you have the divine protection here, authority, guidance, but there are going to be some inner child triggers over the next couple days or weeks, and it's basically just this person getting the rest of the way out of your energy, because you've fully taken your power back from this situation. And there's nothing really that this person can do to go back and undo what they did. And they know that there's nothing they can really come and say to you now. Their chances are all taken away because you know now what they needed you to not know in order for them to ever have a seat at your table again. That will never happen because you already know, or you are about to find out exactly what was going on with this person, how they were trying to confuse you, how they were trying to sabotage you, how they were trying to delay you, and you broke free of it. So you may have a couple inner child triggers, but just know it's only because this person is finally being completely pulled out of your energy. And it's almost like as they're pulled, what they were trying to grasp onto and damage in you, those inner child wounds, they have to let go of them. So as they let go of them, as they're being pulled out of your energy, you may feel them a little bit, feel those triggers, feel those emotions, but it's nothing that you can't work through so long as you stay grounded and don't try and run from your feelings. King of Wands, it's like go into them with passion, like passionate acceptance and love for yourself. It feels like what's going to be triggered is, oh, well, how could have things been different if I would have healed this wound long ago? Or who could I have been if it wasn't this way, right? So this just is going to require radical self-compassion and forgiveness. And not that you need to forgive yourself for the wounds that were caused by others that you had to bear, but forgiving yourself for not doing certain things sooner because you needed certain experiences to do character development and help to get you onto your soul's path here. So don't look at it as wasted time. Look at it as every day was a piece of the lesson that you needed to complete your puzzle. And now you have all the pieces that you don't need any more lessons from this person or from their energy because you've completed that section of the puzzle and you've earned the opportunity to finally see yourself now without the pain that this person has caused you for a very long time. Somebody that was purposely trying to block you for a long time is now dealing with the consequences of those actions. Justice is in the reverse. It's not all the way here yet, as in you might not see that they're dealing with these consequences yet, but the consequences are setting in, and this person is not very happy about it. King of Cups and Empress on either side of the reversed High Priestess. So because they made decisions that blocked them out of either their spiritual protection or their ability to channel or get higher information, it's throwing everything else off balance in terms of being able to create a scenario where they could move forward from this, because they're not allowing themselves to action feeling their feelings. They're still running from everything that they tried to do to you, send to you, and they're left on their own. They're left on their own now. Hangman on the bottom of the deck. They're left to their own demise because whoever was helping them before has dropped them, has put them down, energetically at least, very quickly. Whoever was on this person's side, as soon as this person's tower moment hit, the other person who was their right-hand man or whatever it is, that person was not in a state of self-love, so they aren't able to hold space for this person, as all the seeds that they planted started to sprout, and they're not good seeds here. Hierophant in reverse. They're coming from below, not above. So whoever this person is that did things against you is now sitting in their karma, and everyone else who was previously enabling them or supporting their bad behavior is now falling away because they're like, I don't want to be there when this spills over. Ace of Cups, Six of Cups in reverse. So people have seen the damage that this person can do when this does spill over, and they don't want to be stuck in it. And basically this person's worst nightmare is being left to their own. This is in reverse, so solidarity by yourself. They expected other people to help pick them out of this hole if it ever did come, and it's here, and everyone that was around them is falling away. This person is learning that what you give is what you get here, and all of their lies are coming back to smack them right now. All of their sabotage, all of their betrayal, because people are starting to see this person for who they are, and they're leaving them high and dry and walking off into their own path and not supporting this person anymore. Because they can see now clearly that this person was trying to block you and that you did not mean harm or foul to anyone. And this person is really showing their true colors to everyone. King and Queen of Swords with Strength in reverse. You, because of how you express and because of how your life has progressed in a certain way, people are starting to doubt everything that this person said against you or about you, and that's leaving this person who was against you in a very bad position. So their karma is beginning to unfold, and the first big step that they're recognizing in this karma unfolding is that they're being left high and dry by all the people who were previously enabling them, which is going to make dealing with the rest of their karma even more difficult. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes. This person is learning that now. So you have the law of threes in play in your life right now, meaning something that happened twice is going to happen again, and then that's going to be kind of cleared out. You're going to learn the complete lesson that you were meant to learn from this event. You're not drowning because this is the time where you come back to save yourself. School in reverse, you learned your lesson this time. You hadn't the other two times. Timeline issue. You hadn't the other two times. So what is this lesson meant to teach you? Oh, happiness. That happiness is not something you seek outside of you, it's something that you create for yourself. What are two ways that this lesson was taught to you? Oh, by not being happy. By feeling like you were stuck or stagnant imprisonment. You felt like you just couldn't get away from your circumstances, and you had to recognize that since you couldn't change your circumstances, you had to change your internal environment, and then that would project externally. What was the other? That neighborhood in reverse, that you were going to have to be the one to make those changes, and that you had to do this on your own this time and create your own happiness. What was the key or tool that helped you pass this lesson? Bloodline in reverse, yourself. Nobody else, just yourself. How? You had to learn who does not deserve your time, attention, or energy. And once you stopped giving that to them, you started to see that other people were bringing you down, and without them, you had the tools and ability to bring yourself up to whatever level you wanted to be at. And justice is on the bottom of the deck as I say that. Oh, and healing behind it. So you're going to have to experience something that you experienced twice already, but you're going to pass the test with flying colors because you learned the lesson, and now this go around is just your higher self giving you the opportunity to see that you learned the lesson. And the lesson is, don't seek happiness outside of you. You are creating the opportunity for happiness. So you're not seeking it, you're creating it. And then you move on to the next lesson. Congratulations. Some people will never reach out to you or speak to you again because they don't have the maturity level to cope with the fact that they did you wrong and you didn't deserve it. They'll create false narratives around you so they don't feel bad about themselves because they lack accountability and they lack self-awareness, and the fact that you have those things is the most triggering element to them. Almost like an unforgivable sin in their eyes that you have these things that they are unable to attain because they are unwilling to look internally and instead just continue to project their pain and hurt onto the world. And because you are self-aware, you no longer allow that. So they no longer can go toe-to-toe with someone who forces them to look at what they try so hard to hide. They are a wounded child trapped in an adult's body, and they don't know how to ask for help because they've run from it too long. Someone thought they could try you one last time, and they thought, even if it goes bad, even if I don't get what I need to happen out of this, I'll be able to convince this person that I shouldn't be cut out completely. But you saw this and said, I'm not going to fight for a spot at a table that I don't belong at, so I'm just going to keep it moving, and you left this person right where they were. This person was resisting a death and rebirth because they refused to look at the burdens they were carrying, because it's the opposite of what you were experiencing. You're completing a cycle because you learned all the lessons. This person is refusing to learn the lesson. You had recognized that you were carrying other people's burdens, and you finally were like, I need to, in order to share my own light in the world, figure out which of these burdens are not mine to carry. Whereas this person is putting their burdens onto everyone else because they refuse to look at the fact that it is their burdens. Giving and receiving, they're giving it out, and now they're receiving the karma from it because they refuse to look inside. They're so scared of feeling this way. But all they're doing is prolonging and increasing the way that they're going to feel that way when it does finally hit them, and they're not going to be able to back away from it. And it's interesting because this person is feeling in this Nine of Swords energy, they've lost all control, but they're gripping onto some semblance of control that they feel like they do have. And the only thing they feel like they can control is when this hits, when the karma hits. So this is one of those examples where they don't have that control, but it's one of those examples where all they're doing is trying to delay, hoping that they can get something together so that when it does hit, it's less damaging, but that's not how this works. And all they're doing is increasing the amount of hit that's going to come to them when it does, because they are going to be in such a lack of self-love that when this light does shine on the darkness that they're trying to cover, it's really going to trigger that wound, which 10 of Pentacles reversed. What's popping up there? Oh, the Star reversed. So this is something that they don't tell a lot of people, but they have this inner child wound or this abandonment wound with 10 of Pentacles reversed. And it's almost like the mask that they wear in public or around other people is meant to specifically be the opposite of the way that they're feeling inside. And it's catching up to them. There's nowhere they can hide, nowhere they can run. There's that 10 of Pentacles again, and I split the deck. So it's going to find them, and basically, because of your big heart here, you would try and be there for them too much that you would get confused on your own. Not confused, but it would be very tempting for you to once again pick up the burdens of another person, and that's not this chapter of your life. You just completed the lesson on that, and you don't need to go back into that 5 of Pentacles energy. You don't need to go back into it. You're making quick forward progress, and some people can't come with you. You're making quick forward progress. The Magician, 9 of Pentacles. You're creating magic, you're manifesting, and you're getting what you want and deserve. And this is a person that can't go with you. You're going up, and this person is sitting at the bottom of the steps there. They're not able to go with you into this next chapter because they would sabotage all the hard work and progress that you could be making and are going to make, and keep you trapped in the past, keep you unbalanced. And if you're carrying someone else's burden, you start to get in the energy of, okay, sometimes I just want to numb, I don't want to feel this. But going into this next adventure, you can't be trapped in your head. And that's what this person would do to you, keep you trapped in your head. So if this person is falling out of your way right now, it's because you're about to get what you want and they are still unbalanced. You are completing a chapter or a cycle here. You're getting that victory, and you have to walk away from this person to do it. When you used to try and tell your truth, nobody would believe you. They'd laugh at you, they'd mock you, but something has shifted, something has changed. What has changed? Hollow Earth in reverse. They're seeing that what you're saying was not just empty words, empty stories. How are they seeing that there's more to it? Because they're seeing now that you are not around the people who were claiming that you were this bad person, their lives are getting worse, or at least staying the same, while yours is not. You are looking mentally more fit than you were when you were around the poisonous people. They can clearly see now the web. See how there's like a web here? How everything is connected to the source. They're seeing that the source of your problems are stemming from the people who are now having problems, even though they were claiming you were the problem, but you are no longer in the web with those people. So if you were the problem and you removed yourself, why are you improving and they are going in the opposite direction? World leader in reverse, because they wanted to take you down and lead you into your own demise through they wanted to lead you right into your own demise. But you did not blow up and give them what they needed. Even though they had you like a voodoo doll. And even though you did not see it coming, you still escaped the trap. And now they're trapped. The longer you run, the bigger the shadow. Thank you, that is so true. What do we need to know about running from our shadow? The World in reverse. You can't complete the cycle until you turn around and face that which you've been running from. Queen of Cups, Knight of Swords. if you block yourself out of feeling your feelings, you're also going to eventually block yourself out of the ability to express and get help for what you've been running from. It's almost like it becomes too overwhelming and you keep your guard up for too long, and then you can't really connect to higher guidance because you put yourself in such darkness by having this shadow just kind of like envelope you. In order to get what you want here, you have to walk away, turn around in this case, and face the shadow. Take action towards expression on your own. Only you can be the one to turn around and face this. And it's a situation where you get what you give. So if you're going to continue to run from your shadow, you're only prolonging that victory for yourself, because you're not aligning with your holy grail, your soul purpose, and giving yourself that grounding and support for a new beginning. So basically, it's almost like running down a dead end, not street because there's no like exit, running down a one-way tunnel, and going through the tunnel, you get about halfway and it starts to get really dark, and you realize, oh, there's not a light at this isn't a light at the end of the tunnel thing. This is, I'm running towards a dead end. So if you continue to run and run and run from your shadow, you're running into more darkness. And once you reach the end of that tunnel, there's no way out. You have to turn around and face your shadow. So basically, you're only accumulating the tower moment that's going to happen when you eventually have to turn around and face it, because no matter what, you are going to have to turn around and face it. Knight of Pentacles reverse, backtracking, turning around. You get to the end of this and you realize it's a dead end and you're blocked. This is like the opposite of the social queen. So you're by yourself, confirmed by the Hermit, and you are the one that has to light up the sun, light up the tunnel to get back out. So basically, running from your shadow is just prolonging, recognizing and realizing that you are the one that has to do the work to turn on your internal light so that what you're facing is not so dark. The light comes from within, and you're not going to get what you need and want if you keep yourself locked out in the cold. There's the light again. There's the Hermit again. You are the light. So those who run from their shadows and project that onto other people are doing so because imagine that they're running down a dark tunnel, and at first they're running from their shadow and they can see their shadow because there's still light behind them, but they get far enough down this one-way dead-end tunnel that they have to start to recognize, oh, it's only dark down there and I can keep running, but I know that I'm running towards something that's going to eventually dead end. So that's why they project onto others, because they're trying to siphon your light so they can use it in their tunnel, but it doesn't work like that, because no matter what, they're heading towards a dead end and they're eventually going to have to turn around and face that which they've been running from. Six of Cups would be the past, and this is a transition. They're going to have to turn around and look at what they've been running from to make it back out of the tunnel, because that's the only way they're going to get that celebration and victory. They can't see how that can be done, but the truth of it is that's the only way to bring themselves back to life, is to stop running, stop delaying, and to start facing. Because running from your shadow, instead of looking at it by the way of what can I learn, what is it supposed to teach me, how can I grow, if you choose to run from it instead of looking at it, you're only running down a dead end tunnel that eventually you're going to have to turn around and face it anyway, because it's the only way out. The only way out is through. Thank you for this. So you have either a new spiritual gift coming in or an increase of a gift that you've already been working on here. Independence, and it's interesting because I was going to say it seems like this is something that's been trying to come to you since the solar eclipse. We have the moon in reverse, which would be solar, also a revelation of secrets here, and independence. You protected yourself in some way, and it's because of that that your higher self is like, okay, you're ready to step into either a new gift or an increase in a gift that you were already working on. It has something to do with action and your throat chakra, and something that you didn't see coming. You have divine support coming in, in a way that you could not have prepared for because you didn't see this coming. Even if you've been working on strengthening this particular gift, the Wheel of Fortune behind the King of Cups, you have this divine support because this is a big part of whatever your next step is on your soul purpose. It's like this gift really helps to unstuck you and expedite that moving forward where there was previously a delay because it was waiting for you to really come back to life here. And that's what was not hindering your divine support, but like your guides were like, okay, let's give it another minute. Let's give it another minute. Okay, the person's ready now. That's what's happening. And it's because you protected yourself in some way. You didn't fall back into an old destructive pattern, and it has something to do with boundaries or relationships. Yeah, you moved forward, you healed. And there was a test that it was a test of self-love to see if you would stay in self-love or if you would get off balance, and you stayed in self-love. And because of that, this is really being victory. It's being unlocked for you. So either an increase, you earned it, and it's something that you've had for a very long time, but it hasn't been in the forefront yet. It's been behind the scenes, and you may have been making some use of it, but not in the way that you're about to, and it's coming in very quickly. And you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to do anything else. Your guides, your angels, your ancestors are bringing this to you because you've already done the work for it. So there's nothing that you need to do. High Priestess in reverse, there's nothing else that you need to do. Just kind of continue to hold space for yourself to release anything or anyone that is not in alignment with the version of you that exists right now, because you've completed a cycle here. So anything that's remaining, there may be a couple things that you have to identify and say, oh, they're not meant to come with me into the next chapter. If you can really identify and release them, Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck, your good fortune is coming in. And this is kind of, because you beat the devil here and you beat death. We had the Wheel of Fortune, upright, devil, and death. You literally beat like an entire section of a video game type thing here. Like you're going on to the whole next phase of your journey. And Judgment in reverse, Hanged Man, this gift is the key that really unlocks the door for you, because you've already made all the sacrifices from it. You don't have to go through another tower moment in order to activate or align with this gift. It's just coming in for you. You don't need to be anxious or worried. You don't have to lose sleep, because you are quite literally free from whatever chains were previously holding you back, keeping you from aligning with the highest version of yourself in terms of this gift that's coming in for you. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to give you a channeled song, and this song is going to help either give you information about this gift, or it can be like your anthem to call in this gift. 1, Imagine by John Lennon. 2, Bring On the Rain by Joe D. Messina and Tim McGraw. And 3, Learning to Fly by the Weepies. Have a good day. Something that you've diligently been working towards or working on that has kind of felt like it's like running through sand type energy, where like you're like, if I was on solid ground I could be going faster, but I'm stuck in this running through the sand. It's about to take off. It's almost like you're running through the sand and then you hit that hard ground and you didn't even realize that it happened, and you just kind of start taking off. Hermit reversed. Everything that you've been working on internally is going to be now shown externally. Almost like you have X amount of energy that's due to you. Queen of Wands in the reverse. You haven't been able to show it publicly yet, but it's all like in this basket. And you were kind of expecting to get a piece and a piece and a piece, but it actually has just been all accumulating in the basket, and you're about to get the whole basket at once. And it's going to really help you, 9 of Pentacles, take off. This is like a very slow moving night, but it's in reverse. So you're going a lot faster now than you have been in the past when it comes to this. And it's because you walked away from something or someone, and now the victory is here because you did it. Death in reverse, it could be a mindset. You made a major mindset shift, and that's why this is opening up for you. Yeah, secrets revealed here. So that is what was keeping you from the fresh start or the new beginning in terms of career, in terms of life purpose, soul path. But you completed that cycle, and now that you did, you are going from this reverse King of Cups, kind of like standing in your way without even realizing you were standing in your own way, but you took your power back with the Emperor. You had to get through some kind of self-sabotaging that you were subconsciously doing, and now the star is here, so you're ready. What you weren't seeing before is how to use competition in a healthy way, and it was kind of preventing you and keeping you stuck, but you called judgment on that. You gave that mindset a rest, and now whatever this is, it's coming in for you a lot quicker. Before, you were kind of worried about putting your, you know what it was? It felt like subconsciously you were thinking, if I really have this, if it's really mine, then I have something that I could possibly lose again. And in the past, you had something that you worked very hard to attain and you lost it. So subconsciously, there was some energy here of making sure that you were all the way ready to maintain and sustain this blessing. And now you are. Ace of Cups, your holy grail. Now you are. And it's coming in for you very quickly and very intensely. And it's going to progress quickly and intensely as well. Music was actually one of the first ways that I began channeling, was noticing that that's what I was doing, using music when I was pretty young. You can actually, anyone can channel very easily through music, especially when it comes to questions that you have that you're already pondering in your head. You can make a playlist. I would say put at least 40 80s good songs on this playlist. It obviously can be more than that, but songs that speak to you, not just songs that like you like the music of, or not just like, you know what I mean, like songs that feel like they have symbols and signs and deeper meanings, and even ones that like maybe they seem like they're a little bit of direction, like do that, don't do that type of thing. Put them all on a playlist, and when you have questions, go to that playlist and hit shuffle. You will be blown away by the answers you receive, because you are setting up that coding for yourself. You're saying, okay, higher self, this is what I'm going to use to communicate so you can give me the answers through these songs. Your higher self's like, okay, ask a question. I bet you will be pleasantly surprised, to say the least, floored, blown away, maybe more, but you will get answers from yourself if you give yourself the channel to do so. You're creating a channel for yourself by setting up a playlist. So then when you do have a question or you're not sure about something, go hit shuffle. Pleasant surprise every time. And even if you don't have the answer right away, even if you may need a little bit of time to think about how that was the answer, just put that intention out there. Okay, I understand this part still doesn't make sense. I'll be looking for the signs. You'll get them. Or you can keep shuffling and get more songs, but it's a great way to channel. I haven't done one of these in a minute. The mystery in your life. It's a who done it. Who, what, when, where, and why. Who? Someone who's in your inner circle, someone who belongs in your life. It's not a random person. Who, what? They're trying to pervert the narrative about you. When did this happen? Man-made disaster in reverse. Right before your last tower moment. Where? In terms of how people saw you, your power or authority, they tried to pervert the narrative around who you saw yourself as. Why? Trying to Britney Spears you. Trying to blind you to what was really going on so they could take something from you. What? Water supply in reverse. A download. There we go again. Why did they want your download this time? Flow. They knew that the next download, if you receive it, is going to create movement where there was previously a blockage. Are they aware yet that their plan isn't going to work? No, not yet. When will they become aware? When other people start to point them to the fact that it looks like that person got that download. Pinky promise, hands are not tied. You can't be blocked from it. They're two-faced. And drama. So, what is the piece of this mystery that you don't know about yet that would help you understand a little bit more about it? It's an inside job. Natural disaster. The weather can't be manipulated. This person would never be against me. The monster comes out of the sea. Secret weapon. Let me guess. This person did something wrong and they were bribed with an attempt to swap with you this download in exchange for getting out of some kind of trouble or bad situation. Smoke and mirrors. New World Order. As a confirmation of this message, use tarot. As a confirmation of this message, what did this person do wrong that they needed to swap with you for? They stole something. What? Decision you can't go back from? They're trying to karma swap you because they already owe a debt for an attempt to karma swap someone else that failed, and now they owe something and they're trying to collect it from you. The Emperor reversed. Loss of control. Abuse of authority. One card to describe this person. They're the lion. They're trying to strong arm you. It's not going to work. Victory in reverse. Good luck with that. If you feel like recently, within the last 2 to 3 weeks, there was someone who hacked their way into your energy, and you feel like you did everything to get them out, you became aware of it, you made any changes that need to be made, but you still feel like there's a little bit of influence that they're having in your mind, and you're like, how do I get them the rest of the way out? This is how. On purpose, you have to take back your power and authority. All you need to do is become aware of it and set the intention of whatever needs to happen to get these people out needs to happen now. Exposing that betrayal. Becoming aware of it is the only way that they can prevent you. Not becoming aware of it is the only way that they can prevent you from kicking them out. Once you're aware of it, half the battle is already fought. Taking it back. So basically, stating out loud to yourself that you're aware that these people are in your energy and you are ready for whatever that needs to happen externally to happen, that allows you to see the proof that they are no longer welcome in your energy and need to now leave, because you have the authority to do so and they don't have the right to be there. Taking back your power. Good for you. Why is it that they are so threatened by you? They see that you have the potential to create the happy life that they know that they don't deserve to have because of what they do behind closed doors. They know they made certain decisions and choices that they can't go back from. Death is in the reverse. It's like they resisted the death and rebirth cycles, whereas you were like, oh, death and rebirth, if I need it, I need it. But they didn't see it that way. They tried to delay the death part of the death and the rebirth. And it's because they weren't willing to look at their shadows, and because of that, it prevented them from really achieving this energy of self-love. They're not able to give to themselves because they avoid big parts of themselves. They don't know how to put down their defenses. They avoid certain parts of themselves so much that eventually their brain was like, oh, we're avoiding ourselves? Okay, and we're going to avoid all of ourselves then. And that is preventing these people from stepping into the death and rebirth cycle that they need to go through to wake up to their own shit and stop acting in the way that they're acting. Ace of Wands came out in the reverse, as I said that. Like, flew up in the air, too. It's like wands. It's you created magic with your wand and they just dropped theirs on the ground. They're resisting looking at themselves. And it wasn't fast for you. It's not like you ran through this course and you were like, oh, this is so fun and easy. You did the hard work. It's not that it was easy for you. It's just that you were braver than them. Ace of Cups reversed. They're not getting their holy grail now, and they're doubting themselves because they weren't willing to do the work that you were. Queen of Pentacles, you grounded yourself, especially in terms of, I need to ground myself so I can feel the feelings that I need to feel in this upcoming death and rebirth. Each time you went into it, you were not afraid. Tower in reverse. Not that you weren't afraid, but you stepped forward despite any fear that you were having. And they got stuck in the mental, like two sides of their psyche were at war with one another, and because neither side would really compromise, both sides lost in their realm of consciousness. 10 of Swords, they betrayed themselves though. They're not getting what they want. 9 of Pentacles reversed because they betrayed themselves and ran from their death and their rebirth. They didn't have time to prepare for it. So in the moment of, are you going to jump into the death and rebirth, or are you going to run? They chose to run every time. You got the same warning. Hey, it's here. But you took a leap of faith on yourself, and they did not. That's why they're so intimidated by you. 10 of Wands is upright. 10 of Pentacles is reversed. They're so intimidated by you because they can't escape from the burdens that they created for themselves by choosing to try and run from the death and rebirth cycles that they needed. Because you made decisions that you're not all the way happy with either. And then after them, when your conscious was like, we could have done that better, you were like, oh, here's a death and a rebirth. This is probably so I don't repeat those lessons that I'm not all the way proud of. Let me walk into this uncomfortable death and rebirth so I can grow, heal, and ascend. And when their death and rebirth came, King of Swords reversed. They would not allow for the expression that would allow them to step forward into that rebirth because they wanted to be in control. And to go into a death and rebirth, you have to give up control. 7 of Pentacles. You have, Look at the ghosts on the card too. We're talking about death and rebirth. You're committed to this. You're thinking, this is my path. This is my path. And then the death and rebirth comes, and you have to kind of ghost what you were working on very hard before and figure out what path you're being guided to take on the other side of that death and rebirth. There's that same card that represented you before the death and rebirth. You weren't ready for it either, but the difference between you and them is that you were brave enough, and that's why they don't like you. It's a them problem. I'm gonna run down the list of all the zodiac signs, and this is something that your guides want you to be aware of that's coming into your reality in the next month, or something that's going to be a focus of your reality in the next month. Aries. Manipulation being exposed. In what way? Desert in reverse, so you don't see it, but it's there. So manipulation that you're not yet expecting coming to your attention or being a focus in some way. Taurus. You're going to have to bite your tongue on something. Why? Revenge is what fell out. Revenge, connection. Someone from your past that you were connected to is going to try and trigger you, and you're going to have to bite your tongue. It's a test. They're coming through the portal of hell. Yeah. Gemini. What's collapsing? Someone else's abuse of power over you is ending. Secret weapon revealed. You're going to get the download of how to stop someone who's abusing their power in your life. Cancer. You're going to have more time for something you were running out, for something you thought you were running out of time for. Why? Whoever was trying to stop you is being removed from the path. They're getting out of your way. You took your power back. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Leo. I was getting a phone call. Burial. You're completely cutting ties with somebody. Why? You exposed what they were really up to behind the scenes, or you're finding out about what they were really up to behind the scenes, and you're going to completely cut them off. Evil exposed. Yes. Virgo. You're not going to have to work as hard. Why? Because whoever was trying to stop you is being removed from your path as well. Why? You're seeing through the facade that they don't really care. Might be messy, but you got to get them out of their position of power in your life. Libra. What is coming through the portal of hell? Ego. You are going to see clearly how someone in your life is only acting from a place of ego. Why? It's what they're not saying to you. What are they not saying? You don't see it, but it's there. They really just don't like you. It's not a secret anymore. Scorpio. What's ending or collapsing? Whatever was blocking you from being in your power is falling away. Why? Movement towards love. Good for you. 1 second. Sag. You're not going to see it coming. Secret weapon. You're getting additional time to complete something. What? You need to cut yourself away from either a mindset or a group, and you feel like you're behind, or like you feel like you wasted too much time, but you're going to get a confirmation that you're right on track with where you're supposed to be. They're two-faced. Their two-faced behavior is that sign. Yeah, corruption. Capricorn. Freedom. Sorry, I'm a Capricorn. The people who were watching you are getting directed to other tasks. Aquarius. Release of someone who is very close to you, maybe that you consider family. Are you releasing them, or there's a release of information about them? You're releasing them. Pisces. Uncovered. You're uncovering someone who is not on your side. Why? They're a party friend. Yeah. Have a good month. This reading is for those who feel like there has been someone in a position of power or authority in some capacity that has overstepped what they should be allowed to do to get certain things to fall apart, be blocked, not happen in your life. This can be legal things, it can be non-legal things. It's just someone on the outside abusing the ability they have to block or stop. Conspiracy exposed. It's a whole big conspiracy against you. So the people who are behind the scenes in some kind of position of power, what got them to roll the dice on risking that position if they get found out? Because they thought it would stay a secret. And they thought that you would not ever stand up to whatever it was because you needed things to stay cordial. You're just the child. You're the one that needs the other people. They don't need you. Why else? That card says deep state. This is confirming that it's someone with power or authority. What's their energy right now? They wish they could take it back, huh? I bet they do. What was their energy when they were originally asked to do whatever it is they did? Meeting. In this meeting, yes, there was a meeting. They sat down and had a meeting about it. Collapse in reverse, so if you do this, you're not going to go down for it. Timeline issue in reverse. We have all the time we need because this person doesn't know what's coming. Witness in reverse. This person will never speak up and tell the story about it. Nobody will ever believe them. This person's mental health will help us demolish them. That card says government. Drama from that person that is abusing their power. That's interesting. Cards just fell on the floor. Looks like their house of cards is falling. The supply from the very top. Their house of cards is falling because you were given from your ancestors the key or the tool that you needed to avoid what you otherwise should not have been able to avoid because it is big corruption. The love sent from your ancestors. This card came out in a reading a little bit ago, and it was information channeled straight from source. What is this person in a place of power that is corrupted? What's their plan going forward now that they know you know? Spread more lies. About you, or about the fact that they would never do anything like that. Break up. About you. What are the lies going to be about? Oh, we're going back to mental health. And my cat yelling. They want you to scream really loud about what they did so they can flip it around and say, look how crazy that person is. There's that missing piece. And abuse of power. Conspiracy exposed. That's my main confirmation card on my channel. So this is my main confirmation card because the first episode of the news in reverse that I did, which is predictions about the world, the first one was about a boat and it came true within 48 hours. What has been confirmed to this person that's in a state of corruption? What has been confirmed to them about you? What came through the portal? You see it and it's not there. Something came through the portal. You see it and it's not there. This person has solid proof now that the lies that they were told about you that got them to agree to this in the first place, incorrect. Secret's out, huh? I said proof too. Classified document. Where'd they get the proof from? Somebody who is actually on your side and not on their side. Partner in crime in reverse. Not someone who is doing this for a malicious reason. Why did they give the proof? To give you your power back. And take it away from them. They're going to be angry. Their manipulation couldn't work. Oh, they're trapped. That card didn't want to be shown, huh? They're trapped with their manipulation. They are trapped with their manipulation being exposed now. Because they couldn't take you out even though they tried to drown you. Looks like the home team won. So you have this ex, could be an ex-friend, feels more like an ex-lover, take it how it resonates. And this person has been X'd out in the first place because you found out about them planning to betray you. This is how they feel about it now. I guess they didn't really get the reaction they anticipated getting from you. No drama. You decided to care for yourself. Why? That's your revenge. The best revenge is leveling up. How's it make them feel watching it happen? Money, confirmation, aliens. It makes them feel like they put all their eggs in a basket of this sabotage or betrayal, and now they just don't feel like they belong anywhere. They're recognizing that you were actually their comfort. And they chose to manipulate you anyway? That's weird. Why is that? They thought you'd never find out. This is like, I love bomb you to try and trick you into thinking that I actually give a shit. And in the process of me love bombing you, I actually fall for you. And you're the one that doesn't give a shit, as in you. You're fired. Yeah, good luck with that. This is for those who literally could just not sleep last night, could not fall asleep, and when you did fall asleep, it was like you didn't get very good sleep, and it almost feels like, was I being protected from some kind of attack in my sleep because there was people in my energy, and before they got kicked out of my energy, they had one last time to have an attack, and so I wasn't able to get into a deep enough level. Deep enough level of sleep because I was being protected from their potential attacks. Someone who used to be on your side who is just not, but they're using that cord that was still attached to try and get inside until you identify the person, the energy, and tell it that it has to now leave. This person tried to blackmail you into thinking that they cared, all so they could try to attach that cord, come in when you were least expecting it, and try and bring you down to their level. And now they must leave your energy. If the people from your past do not like you now, or at least it seems like they don't, because really it's not about you. If you have moved forward and they remain right where you left them, it is not you that they have a problem with. It is the fact that you became what they couldn't figure out how to become. So they don't perceive you as you are. You, since they don't know you or have access to you anymore, at least not like they used to, they don't, it's like a paint by numbers picture that's not colored in. You are. And they are projecting the colors that they feel about themselves onto that paint by numbers of you. They're not perceiving you as you are. They're projecting whatever it is that made them remain in the same place that you left them onto you, because they just cannot wrap their mind around the fact that they wasted all this time staying in the same place, focused on what you were doing wrong, but you're the one that's not in that same place anymore, and they are. It has very little to do with you, and I guess you could say it's personal, but not personal as in a personal attack at you. Personal as in a war that person is fighting with themselves, and that's not your responsibility to give a shit about. There's a lot of people who are dead set on stopping you in your tracks. Abuse and neglect exposed. They want you to keep your mouth shut. That's why they want to stop you. Oh no. So how do they feel that you won't shut your mouth? Oh, we're having some mental health struggles. Are they a little worried? Oh, that their betrayal is going to be exposed. Why are they so worried about that? What's up with their betrayal? Oh, it's evil. That checks out. So, how do they feel watching you, knowing you're exposing their evil? Pulled a whole bunch of cards, too. And they feel as though you are accurately describing their evil and exposing it. Have the day you deserve. So you went through something wildly traumatic, and you did all the healing work, you did all the rediscovery of self type work, and you just aren't feeling like it's integrated yet. You know you did the work, you know it's there, and you're just like, when is it going to take effect type of thing. So we're going to imagine that there's a straw, and all of the coding and downloads is sitting in the straw, but there's like, you know when you get a straw from a restaurant and they put a little piece of paper on the end? That's essentially what's happening to your straw. So this is going to be the information that you need that's going to remove that little piece of paper from the straw. Clearing the smoke and mirrors. Okay. What you need to know to remove the paper from the straw so that your healing can integrate is you survived what was supposed to be unsurvivable. You're keeping that piece of paper on the straw to make sure that everyone is out of your energy and that you can properly integrate it, because you know the cost of what this was. You feel every energetic penny that you had to spend to earn the healing. And it was not easy. And you were not supposed to still be fighting. But you are. That was direct. Okay. So in order to remove the paper from the straw, what you need to know is they wanted to make you feel like you didn't belong, but they're the ones who didn't belong. And they really did not want you here. You had higher guidance, higher protection. Real information. It's interesting because I always say that the devil is an artificial intelligence source. This is in reverse with real information. You got divinely guided protection that stopped. I'm seeing like a labyrinth. You know the labyrinth, the little ball rolls through the maze, but there's like little holes that the ball can fall into. Every time you were approaching a turn where there was like a little hole you could fall into around the corner, your ancestors, your higher protection, your higher self just kind of made something happen so that there'd be something laying over that hole in case you went in. Go treason hole. They made sure you did not fall into all the traps sent for you. I think what you mainly need to know to take the paper off the straw here is that if they were going to be able to stop you, it would have already happened. Time's up. It's time for you to take back your power. They lost. You're breaking free of worrying about the way that people perceive you. And it's because you're stepping into something that was previously delayed for you because of outside influence, and that is stepping into a more authentic and true reflection of who you are. That is not what was happening before because you had to protect yourself. And not that you don't have to protect yourself now, but you don't have to protect yourself from yourself. You are no longer the version of you that existed in the past that used to allow for manipulation. Not necessarily allow for, but not be able to scope it out until you dealt with the lesson that came with it. But now that you learned the lessons that you needed to learn from previous betrayals and manipulation, now you can spot it from a mile ahead, and you don't have to step into the lesson to experience to learn it. It's more about discernment at this point and looking ahead and saying, oh, I see how that's going to go, and I'm going to use my discernment to get myself out of this situation. King of Wands reversed, because people didn't want you to be in your action-oriented, passionate perspective. And it seems like now you're getting what you want here. People are still going to view you as competition and try and still bring you down. But that's why it's important that you're no longer really caring about the way that they perceive you, because you've gone through all the tests and you are solid in knowing who you are. So it doesn't matter what they throw at you. That's not going to change. You're confident in knowing who you are, and that's something they can't take from you. Death, that's something they can't take from you. Are they still going to try to? Yes. But Ace of Wands, Five of Wands, you're on this era of new beginnings, and they're still competing where they don't compare. So it's going to be a loss for them. In the last 6 months, or in a 6-month time frame, you had someone come into your life out of the blue that was from the past, but they popped back up, came in and out very quickly, and upon their exit, you discovered that they were actually trying to set up some kind of betrayal. This is what you don't know yet about it that you need to know. Exposing their abuse of power. What kind of power were they abusing? The hidden key is they somehow were getting into your private property. Private messages, private computer, something, maybe even literally putting listening or watching devices. Yeah, there's that abuse of power. It's just like, must be a lot of abuse of power in this instance, huh? Blackmail exposed. So this person, since they weren't able to trap you, all that power they thought they had, they don't have it anymore, do they? Affair. The mighty will fall. Because of their betrayal, the mighty will fall. Partner in reverse. So right now you're experiencing some kind of delay or some kind of prolonged feeling out in the cold type thing. And it's almost like you're now recognizing that it's not that you didn't recognize it before, but you're seeing exactly how it's a projection from what's going on in your mind. And because you've come to that realization, you're now able to visualize the path forward. You're now able to see exactly why you had to make certain sacrifices, or how certain sacrifices are going to now pay off for you in a way that you didn't anticipate previously. What were those sacrifices? Lack of movement, staying stuck, not getting what's due to you yet or what you've earned yet. Why was there a delay? You had to step back into your passion. And there were certain things that were blocking you from recognizing your passion. What were they? False information about who you were. Why? Mental health. To try and get in your mind and prevent you from seeing the truth of who you were permanently. But now that you've had a realization about other people, okay, and their negative influence on you, you are and will continue to break free of what was previously making you feel like you were trapped in a bad situation. Your bad situation was the company that was around you and the way that they were trying to control the narrative about you. But secret's out because you learned your lesson. Congratulations. Experiencing severe trauma keeps us or freezes us at the age that we experienced it, psychologically. A lot of people are still frozen at the age that their trauma occurred, at least in regard to the way that they relate to and understand the world around them, especially in terms of relationships. Leaving trauma unresolved keeps us trapped at the age that our needs were violated or neglected. Trauma results in a lot of unprocessed emotions, and when we're in a challenging situation, we often resort back to that place mentally. The only way to really free yourself from this and allow yourself to truly move forward all the time, not move forward in the way of when things are good, I'm good, but move forward in the sense of when things aren't good, my mental health doesn't resort back to feeling right back in the midst of that trauma. You, as in the adult version of you, the now version of you, must become the person who would have been able to protect or save the version of you when that trauma initially occurred. Think of it like the age or moment of your trauma was the moment that that version of you locked themselves in this little closet inside of your mind to protect yourself. You had to. But the external shell of you had to keep moving forward because life doesn't stop for anybody and you had to survive. Herein comes where you recognize that there's part of you still trapped, and you then recognize that this is all happening internally, and that the only way to go back and unlock that door that you hid yourself in is to become the person who would be able to, from the other side of that door, convince that traumatized version of yourself that had to be left behind for your own survival that it's safe to come out, because you have created a safe place for them. You hold space for that version of you. So the only way to truly heal from that is for you to become the person who would be able to show that traumatized version of you that even if big feelings arise, you're a safe place. You become the safe place. And then everything comes full circle. Because all these years you struggled with feeling worthy because you felt like something was missing in you. You finally realized it was never missing. It was just locked away because you had to literally survive. And after all that surviving, you don't need anyone else to save you. You evolve and ascend until you are the one who goes back and saves you. Permanently showing those who discarded you that you never needed their permission or approval. So what is going on for you this weekend or upcoming week? It seems like you're being protected from something. Like you want to go on an adventure, but you end up being trapped or stuck, but it ends up working out in your favor or preventing you from experiencing like the overflow of someone else's karma. 6 of Pentacles, giving and receiving. Yeah, you don't, it's like you, maybe plans fall through or something like that, or maybe you even just get delayed, but yeah, you stay by yourself or you just aren't around the crowd as long as you anticipate to be. And it's because you're being protected from something up ahead. So I guess I'm just saying don't get frustrated if plans fall through, or if maybe you have to leave somewhere early, or maybe something causes you to arrive somewhere late. If that happens within the next week, you're being protected from something, not locked out in the cold. So not having to deal with some kind of persistent ongoing battle. It feels like someone else's karma though, the star reversed, not your karma. It feels like almost like someone else has a full cup and they're going to get a big splash of more liquid and it's going to spill onto everyone around them, and you don't need that lesson, so you're being protected from it. Death in reverse. You don't need that lesson, so you're being protected from it. So if something just goes off, just say, oh, thank you, higher self. That's your protection. Your redirection in this case is quite literally divine protection. Some people only know what they knew about you. They don't actually know anything that's new about you. Probably because they lost access. They'll hold you hostage to your past because it helps them to validate how they want to feel about you. And more importantly, it helps them validate how they want to feel about themselves, especially in relation to the false projection of you. Either way, flow and grow. Grow at such a rapid rate that your past self becomes irrelevant. And anyone who views you beyond the scope of who you now are also becomes irrelevant. Don't let where you are right now dictate where you get to go. The only person that can stand in your way is yourself. They can try and block you, and you can walk straight through them. Because again, they become irrelevant when they are projecting onto you the person that you were, that you are not anymore. They're trying to block a ghost. They're trying to block the version of you that doesn't exist anymore. Let them stay distracted with that while you continue forward. Embrace the journey, embrace the struggle, and embrace the process. They are all puzzle pieces that are helping you create the opportunity that truly aligns with your soul.